With our newly announced Kamen Rider Geo, or however you want to call it, closing out the Heisei era next year, and also falling on an anniversary year of 20 for Kamen Rider, Sentai will have to wait another 3 seasons for their big anniversary. Or maybe not. What if I told you Lupinranger vs. Patranger is secretly an anniversary season? Hello and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Squall Charlson. There's my Twitter and there's a link down below too if you want to read all my tweets about how I'm finally catching up on Kamen Rider build. But anyway, what are your thoughts on Lupin v Pat so far? This is a peculiar season that is strangely keeping me fascinated with each episode. Mainly because the team is split and the show moves from one side to the other to avoid these boring lulls that the series is best known for. The longest of those running lulls in the series of nothing happening was Ninja. Am I right? Got him. Now, what makes this show watchable and avoids these types of boring groups of episodes, or at least keeps it fresh for the audience? Typically, great characters will shine through and propel the viewers onward. You can have just flat out great writing that takes situations we've seen before and makes them new again. Or even story arcs that are hard for seasons following to match in caliber. You can also have the easy fallback of it being an anniversary season and just remind everyone that Sentai has been around for so long and to ignore the obvious flaws of the show beyond the mindless, self-serving cameos and callbacks. With that in mind, you don't need to worry about the characters or the story surrounding them, you just get to have fun. And the audience will love you regardless of, again, these obvious problems. Yeah, I'm talking about Gokaiger. It's a fun season, but it's not a good season. You know what? I'm gonna make this. Yeah, please don't at me. You know what? Let's play a drinking game. Every time someone comments about how I'm wrong about Gokaiger, take a shot. No, wait, actually don't do that. I don't want to kill off my entire subscriber base, because it's gonna be a lot. Previously with Q-Ranger, we had this huge shakeup involving 9 heroes from the start, as well as some newer story elements that were quickly discarded the last half of that show and set it to this grindingly slow pace. So when I heard of Lupin vs. Pat, a show that would again extend the normal 5 hero setup to now 6, plus side characters, I was a little skeptical on how long this would last, how long they could keep it fresh. And so far we have subpar characters that after 10 episodes or so haven't really developed or shown their true end goals because it's constantly going back and forth. We only have seen backstory that makes us think we are, getting to know these characters more when this backstory is so close to the beginning of the show that it actually, when you think about it, doesn't define the characters at all. I mean, look at Takeru from Shikanger, who was this unwavering leader and house head who once said this in episode 2. And then only 3 episodes later was revealed more and more of his internal fight he's going through, and we even see this shell he has begin to crack little by little that would later break more and more as the show progressed. By the end of it, he's a completely different character, and that's what development does. It changes someone by the end of the conflict. So far, we haven't seen any of these characters change in any major way or even get close to having these moments that are going to take them through the process. I mean, I thought we would get Lupin Red to understand the police more after that one episode, but by the next one, it's back to as if he never thought of it in the first place. Now, in terms of story, we haven't gotten anything that has just blown me out of the water yet or done something completely new and daring like Sentai tries to do. And I expect we'll see this when the next Ranger is introduced. So why do I still enjoy watching Lupin vs. Pat? I don't feel joy watching it for the characters, and the story is all right at best so far. So what is this unseeable quality that permeates in the show? Well, I remember making a joke about the intro shot of the Lupin collection and how some of these items are just repainted Sentai toys from the past. But with the recent news about the next Kamen Rider being an anniversary show, that got me thinking. This will be the final Sentai that takes place entirely in the Heisei era. What if this is a Heisei send-off, a goodbye, or using the collection differently than what we think of? I mean, hear me out. What if we finally gathered all the pieces of the collection and it unlocks the next season of Rangers that sort of begins a fresh start, or just completely like ends on a good note with the Heisei era, so that when we move on we have something completely brand new that doesn't really look back at that. Okay, let's back up and take a look at some of the pieces in the collection. This is from the wiki article, and I think it sums up a few things we need to cover. The Lupin collection is a collection of mysterious treasures. These treasures are said to contain a strange power which will bring calamity if landed in the hands of evildoers. These treasures were stolen by the interdimensional crime group Gangler, a crime syndicate from another dimension. What if the other dimension is one that the next Sentai group is from? And the reason these villains traveled to ours was because they knew the secret of the collection and stole it. I'm probably just grasping at straws here, but there are some things about this that just don't sit right about this show. Again, I brought this up on a Sentai Signal podcast episode that was for the Versus movie that's inevitably going to happen later this year. What if, instead of seeing the Q Ranger, which I wanted them to like split on an issue and join either with the thieves or the police, what if instead of that we saw a Lupinranger versus Patranger versus Super Sentai, where the entire franchise splits? Think about that. Let's look at the collection items. The first one we see is this die that initially looks like a Juo changer. The next piece is this lighter, and nothing really stuck out to me at first, but when you close the lid, it takes on the shape of the Shishi Origami from Shikanger, which also created fire. And this guy is basically just Ganmajin from O-Ranger. We have Gogo V's pink ribbon, as well as Pink Flash's prism boots. And this one is clearly Smokey's Maji lamp from Maji Ranger. This is clearly Go Rotor GT from Goanger, and Time Ranger's actual morpher was an item they used too. Now, this is just a little bit too obvious to be just a coincidence, right? What exactly does this mean for the Lupin collection as a whole? Is it part of some sort of anniversary moment? Is this a cheeky way to bid farewell to the last 30-ish years worth of show? Or did a bunch of prop guys rig the system by offering up recolored versions of previous toys? Let me know what you think down below. We may see a second part of this video when we find out more in the show, but I thought it was one worth making since I don't see a lot of people talking about the implications of this online and wanted to bring more attention to it, so I kind of turned it into this. If you guys had fun, be sure to check out some more videos I do here, or even go check out my Patreon and help support me like these awesome folks right here. I'll see you guys next week for part 2 of the How to Adapt series on Go Busters, and Tuesday we'll have a new series I'll be doing as well. On Wednesday, tune in when I go live and we talk about the newest episodes that week for Build and LVP. I'll see you guys there for Superhero After Time. See ya!